Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and today I'm going to be making a butterfly, or trying to remake a butterfly that I made yesterday. I used these, so far I'm calling them peg enhancers. If there's another name or you've seen them anywhere else, please let me know. But I just made some coils with holes big enough to go around my pegs, and this is my pin placement or peg placement. Just kind of lift that up and give you a couple angles at it. You can pause the video if you need to get a better look. I will try to do a diagram as well for the husking board. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to go and we're going to try to recreate this little butterfly. I thought he was kind of cute, and you know, there's obviously different ways you can do it. I did use 3 different colors of blues. I think you can kind of see that, but you could use blacks or whatever and then fill it in. I just was playing around, so I'm just going to repeat this exact same one, or try to. I shouldn't say exact because I might be off. You might notice too that this was an accident, but I'm okay with the way it turned out. I got this one peg higher. I actually wanted it down a row. But I'm okay with it, you know, so I don't even know if that one can go up higher. I'm just trying to kind of fill in some of the space, but yeah, it won't go higher. So anyway, you could always move this peg back down here, which is where I thought I had it, and somehow or other it got moved when I was playing with different configurations. So, but in the end, I like that it came up a little bit further, so I'm probably going to just go ahead and do that again. I'll just move it back up, and I think I'll move this one up too. I wish I could move that one up. If I want to put a smaller enhancer on there, I can. So maybe that will give me a little bit more room. Okay, so much for exactly repeating yesterday's. Yeah, I think that's the same size. So it must have to be this one. There we go. We'll try that. See if we can get this other loop just a little bit higher. Oh, it's still not quite fitting in there, is it? Oh, there we go. That's tight though. So what I'll probably do is have to take that off until I'm past that point. So I'll just set that there. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get my 3 strips together. And I think I ended up adding more strips at the end for the wrap. But we will do that when we get to that point if we need to. So I've got a light blue. I'm calling it medium blue, even though it's barely darker than the light blue. And then a dark blue, if I can get it out of there. Okay. And so to start, I got one too many of those, didn't I? Okay. So to start, I line them all up on one end because I want to just tear off that straight edge. I do think it helps in most instances make your seams where you've glued stuff a little less visible. Alright, so then I'm just going to kind of fan them out a little bit, and I seem to be all thumbs right now. There we go. Maybe that'll work. Now you could do this in 2 colors, 3 colors, 1 color. You can do it however you want. But this is how I think I did it yesterday. So I'm just giving a little bit of space between each one, and then I'm going to glue it down. Just going to do a little test over here to make sure, yeah, my glue is okay. Alright, so again, I'm just making sure that the edges are flush, and then I'm pressing that glue down. And so by staggering those, not laying them right on top to end, you get a little bit more of a softer end on there. All right, so now we're going to go up. Oops. This is the hard part because everything's a little bit close together for me. So we're going to go up, take all 3 strands up and all 3 strands down around. I'm going to move this peg out of the way for a second. Try not to lose it. So you want to go around the, oops, you want to go around the slotted pin, or pin number 1 is what I call it, with all 3 strips, and then you're going to glue. Oh, I'm losing another one. So let me pull this out of there. If I ever figure out a better way to do this, I will be one happy camper. Let's try it like that. Okay. So then I'm gonna try and get that to stay put. And I usually have found by bending it a little bit, it'll glue better. So, or hold better, not glue better. So now I'm gonna pull this glue tight and try to get it to stick. And I think that'll do it. So now I'm going to put these pins back where they go so I don't forget. And now what I'm going to do is, let me move some of that stuff out of the way. Okay. So now I'm going to glue each one of these strips at the bottom just to make it easier for myself. So I just come around the peg and glue, a little bit of glue, and take strip number 2. Add a little bit of glue and do strip number 3. Make sure that's all nice and flush with the top of the board. Alright, so now this is where I have to try and remember what I did. Okay, so we're going to take all of our strips up to the top, and we're going to wrap our first one around that middle pin there. And we'll glue it. So then I'm going to add that back in, or try to. Okay. Maybe, now that I've got that loop in there, I'll just take this pin out. Add my spacer. Or a peg enhancer, there we go. And I'm going to just wrap both of these next 2 colors around that one. You go over that peg enhancer and right down next to the other strips that you have already looped. Yeah, I think I messed up. I did. I went all my colors around that first one. I should have just done one, but that's okay. I should have just done my first strip around this first peg instead of all of them, but live and learn. That seems to happen more frequently when I'm playing, just because I can't remember what I did before, especially when I'm playing with a bunch of different things. Alright, so there we go. Okay, I went ahead and moved these pegs back down because I was thinking that might be a little less confusing for me. I could be wrong, but we'll see. So I'm going to go back up with all 3 strips, and I'm just going to come down with the one that's now on the inside, which is, in this case, is the dark blue. And I'm going to pull that down to the bottom. I feel like I need to adjust that a little bit there. Okay, so now I can glue this one. Probably got my glue clogged from taking so long to figure out what I did. Okay, so, and then I'm going to take these 2 strips together and come down and around that enhancer peg and back down to this number 1 peg, or the slotted peg. Let's see here, there we go. Okay, oops, I want to keep it tight. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue, try to keep it up here where you can see it, and pull that center one tight, and hold it, and then add some glue to pull that last one through and tight. And I'm just going to kind of give them a gentle nudge to get them all flush again with the top of the board. Alright, so now you want to take all 3 strips up to the top again, right beside your other loops, and you're going to pull the one that's on this outside or the right side here, and you're going to come down and go around this pin. I don't have that very, there we go. And you're going to glue. Then you're going to take again both strips and come down and around, and you're going to glue both of those. So I'm just turning that a little bit so I can get a hold of it better, and trying to hold it still. So I'm going to add a little glue and do my middle strip, and add a little glue and do the last strip. And just pressing that glue. So now you've got your 3 hole, or your 3 pegs on this side and your 3 pegs on this side. And I'm going to go up with all of them to the inside, and I might have to pull this one out just to keep it from wrinkling on me. There we go. And you're going to take this, what's the bottom strip, or this outside strip, and you're going to just go around this bottom peg. And again, we add glue every time. Let's give it a little press. So you're going to take your middle strip here, or your next strip, and you're going to go around your middle peg. And we're going to add some glue, give that a little press, make sure it's flush. Oops, and I just unglued it. Okay, we'll add a little bit more glue. And we'll just hold that for a second. Okay, so then we're going to take our last strip and go around that top peg, and again down around the bottom, and we're going to glue and hold that. Okay, so again you're going to take your 3 strips. I'm going to remove this peg that's to the right of the slotted peg, and we're going to go up, and on the inside of those 3 pegs, which are now 2, but here we go, making it 3 again, and you're going to pull your very outside strip in and down and around that bottom peg. And you're going to glue it. Then you're going to take this very short next strip and you're going to go around your middle peg and you're going to take it to the bottom and glue it. And you have just enough of that one. So now, before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and trim these off because I don't need any more of those. So I'm going to try to get as close down here as I can. Okay, so you're going to take your last one, wrap it around your last peg and to the bottom. But before you do that, you might want to add one more strip, which I have right here. I'm going to go ahead and tear the end off a little bit, tear the end off of this one, and glue those together. So I'm just kind of trying to find a gentle way to flip that down and just add a little bit of glue. A little bit more than that, maybe. There we go. That's probably too much, but I'm just going to kind of spread that glue out a little bit with the strip and pick it up and make sure, just kind of give it a little pinch on the edges to make sure my edges are flush. And then pinch just to set that glue. Alright, so now we're going to come back down and around and add a little bit of glue at the bottom. And now we're just going to wrap. Now I just wrapped it the way it was, but if you wanted to, let's see, this is how I did it. I just went around, but if you wanted to, you could slip a peg in there and you could come back around that, make it a little more interesting, and I think we need one more peg. So I started out by saying I was going to try to duplicate yesterday's and make it exactly the same, and here I go doing anything but that, but that's okay. It gives you ideas, and I am showing you what I did do, or at least telling you what I did. So now you've got it a little bit more shaped, I guess. I don't know if I like that better or not, but we'll see when we take it off the pegs. You know what? I'm not going to do that because I don't think I can get, I didn't leave it loose enough to get behind that peg, so I'm not going to do that. But that's an idea, and I'll keep working on it. All right, so as I go around this time, I'm going to glue all of the points of contact, so not just the bottom, but I'm going to also glue the edges where the wraps will come into contact with the glue. And I'm just pulling it around. Add a little bit more glue down here. And I think we can get around it. Oops, sorry. I think we can get around it one more time. Almost all the way to the end. Alright, so I'm going to rip this end off a little bit just to make it a little softer, and we're going to add some glue to these points of contact. Pull that around. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue just to the tip of that strip here. And press that down. Okay, so now you're ready to lift it off. Now, this is just what, a profile butterfly, I don't know what to call it when it's from the side view. I guess it's a profile. But you could make 2 wings and make it a regular butterfly if you wanted to. I think this particular wing setup looks better as the profile, but that's just me. Push out my stopper, or my peg enhancer. There we go. Slide that out of the way. So there we have another wing. Now if you wanted to pinch it a lot tighter, you could even make it a flower petal. Well, since we've already got one wing, should we just go ahead and do a flower petal? I think it will be a pretty flower petal. So I'm going to kind of hold everything in place down here where I've glued everything, and I'm going to pinch it. Just try to get that glue to set. Now, or not to set, but to, you know, kind of reshape it a little bit. Alright, so I mean, that's not a bad flower petal, right? You could certainly work with that, or all this dried glue everywhere, or you could take it. I thought I glued it on the, must not have done the very first wrap. I thought I had glued it to the petals, but, or to the loops here, but it's not attached, so I must have forgot to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to give it a little pinch. I'm trying to get as centered as possible, which, so I'm giving it a little pinch and a little push. Pinch, pull, push. And then I'm dropping it. But you can skip that step. And there you go. So that's a cute little flower petal. Or even, it's even a cute butterfly wing as it is. You could make something smaller to go underneath it and make that another butterfly wing. Gosh, should we try that? What would we do to make it smaller? I've got a couple loose pegs here, so let me think about this for a second. We have some options. We wouldn't have to do anything on this side, so let me just take some of this away. And maybe if we pull this back in, alright, let's play with that. We are playing. So you've seen now how I made the butterfly wing, and then we took it and turned it into a flower petal. So we showed you how to do this, the butterfly wing, and then we showed you how to turn it into the flower petal, and now we're going to try and actually make another piece to actually use that as a butterfly wing as well if we want. So let's grab 3 more strips. And again, we're going to line them up on the ends and tear our ends off. Now you can, I went light, medium, dark. You can go medium, dark, light. You can do it however you want. You can use completely different colors that are in a different different color range. There we go. Gets a little tough when there's 3 of them. So now we want to glue them together. Just trying to space them out a little bit here. There we go. It doesn't take a lot of space to just spread out that joint there. Just because I probably need it, we're going to declog real quick and start gluing. Now I did not precondition or relax my strips prior to this. You can if you want. I do find it makes them a little bit harder to work with when you're working on the husking board. because then they're kind of just curling in on themselves and getting in the way. But that's, again, that's up to you. Alright, so did I put away one too many pins? I might have. Let's do, well, if I do it correctly, that should be alright. So let's do this. Let's just go this inside one, which for me is the light blue. And no, I will still need one more pin, won't I? Okay. That's okay. We'll add one. So I'm going to give that a curl up. And we're going to add a little bit of glue on this side here. I'm going to wrap this back down and around. Yeah, did you figure out how to push the door open, Gypsy? Yeah. She acts like she's helpless, but she's pretty smart when she wants to be. But then again, that's probably all cats, isn't it? Kind of space these out a little bit. I don't know about that yet. We'll see. Alright, so now we're going to come down or come up with our next strip, which is the middle strip. And we're going to come down and around there. And we're going to go up with our last strip and come down and around. So let's do some gluing. There's one. Two. And three. Okay, so we want to go up. Oops, we want to go up next to this center row here with all three strips, and then we're going to figure out where to go. So I think I want one more peg right here. So we're going to bring this strip on the left down and around this peg that we just added, and actually once I get it kind of placed, I'll hold it up so you can see it better. I just added that peg right there with that dark blue loop, and then we're going to go grab our next strip and come down around that next peg right above that dark blue one. And then we'll take this last one and come around our peg enhancer and come down and around right next to these other two. Might be easier to glue them at that point rather than trying to wait and glue them all at once. There we go. We'll see. Got some. Okay, I'm gonna glue because I think it'll be easier for me. So push that up. Clear my nozzle. There we go. So I want the dark blue one. Now your colors may be different depending on if you're using blues or if you started in a different order, and that's perfectly fine. It's basically just going to be the next strip, and once you try to line them up, you'll see which one goes next. So then we're taking our middle strip, and then we're going to do our last one. And I want to make sure it goes around that peg enhancer, which my hand's kind of covering up, and down. I'm just going to try and keeping it flush. There we go. Okay, so then we've got these, should be 3 pegs over here. So let me grab one more. Oh, I shouldn't have started in this middle. Somebody was probably out there shouting at me. I should have started in between here instead of right there. Okay, so that's okay. Well, we're playing, so what are we going to do here? We're going to just kind of mirror these 3 pegs over here, and with one of our little, does that look like it doesn't quite look like it's in the right spot, does it? Let me see. Let me hold that up for a sec. Oh, I guess it is. Okay, so now we've got all 3 of our pegs in, plus our peg enhancers. So now we're just going to come back down with the strip that's on the farthest outside edge, whether that be your left or your right. And we're going to add a little bit of glue. You just went around that bottom peg there. Now we're going to take the next strip, which is my medium blue strip. I'm going to go around the middle peg and come down and glue. And a last strip and on the outside edge. And come down and we're going to glue that there. So you have an option here. You could go around with all 3. I don't think I would, just because I didn't do that on the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and snip these other 2 strips, these inner strips. Cut those off and we'll wrap with this one. But before I do that, I do think I want to, yeah, I'm going to extend that. And I feel like I need to do something up here, maybe add another peg or something, but we'll see when we get there. So again, I'm just ripping off the very tip of that strip. And adding a little bit of glue. Spreading our glue a little bit by just sliding that back and forth and then gluing it down. Make sure our edges are flush. I think that's where I glued it. Oh no, that's where I glued it. They're pretty flush. Okay. Alright, so this is our wing. I feel like it needs a little something up there, so let's just grab another peg. And do I want it out there, or would I rather have it right there? Let's see. Well, let's put it there, and then let's add a smaller peg enhancer. That rounds it out a little bit better. Alright, so now we're going to glue. And this time I do want to glue, oh no, I can't glue that because that's right. Okay, that just answered one of my questions from last time. Okay. So we're going to get to the bottom on this, excuse me, this first loop. And we're going to glue once we, there we go. Once we find our pin, alright, so we're going to glue at the bottom. And then as we go around, we will add glue again to these outer points of contact. I don't even think I got that on the paper. And we'll put a little bit more here at the bottom. And I'm going to spin it because obviously I cannot glue what I cannot see. And we're just going to keep wrapping. So again, hit those high points here and just wrap it around. I don't think there's enough to go again. Yes, there is. So we're going to do it again. So that's going to be an extra wrap on this bottom wing, and that's okay. I don't think it's going to matter. And again, we're going to hit these high points here. And just wrap, 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 wrap. And I'm going to tear that off a little bit. Add some glue to the end here. Okay. So here we were just playing around and we've got another little butterfly wing. So let's see how it looks when we take it off. Okay, there you go. So what we'll do is, we're going to pinch this a little bit. Just kind of tighten that up there. And then we're going to take this, we're going to pinch, pull, and push. So now you've got butterfly wing. That's going to be a bigger butterfly. Get it up there where you can see it. Probably could have made this a little bit smaller still, but you get the idea. That was just playing around. So just trying to round that out again. It got a little smushed. But yeah. So you can make butterfly wings or again a flower petal. Now, they would be two different flower petals in this case, but you have options. So, you know, guys, just play with it, have fun. So anyway, that's what we did. We played. So again, you could make them flower petals or butterfly wings. Take your pick. I hope you have fun with this. Just play around with it. I'd love to see some of what you come up with. You know, post it on my Facebook group or page, Expressions Craft Studio. And if you have problems with that, let me know, because I'm not the best at understanding all of the ins and outs of this setup and all that stuff. But anyway, I'd love to see what you guys are working on. So thanks so much for joining me. Again, this is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, signing off saying, I hope you have a happy, crafty day.